Cool. Well, we're back, Dan. The second stop on the European tour, as it started Friday the 14th, correct? And goes to March 31st. I think they said today, or didn't they said today. The there is a big question, Dan, that I wanted to throw by you before we start this botch wrestling podcast episode, and I just want to make sure you're mentally prepared for it. Ready?
Okay.
Are you sure? I hope you're sitting down.
I'm
Now,
sitting down.
question is, with Cena being a heel now, does that mean we can see him now?
Yeah, I think we can.
Yeah.
I think he can. I think he made that clear too.
Oh yeah. Multiple times. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he made that clear.
That seems to be the big question I saw going around on my favorite place, the one place on the internet that you never like to go to anymore, or go to, period.
Yeah, I've never really gone there.
Reddit. So that seemed to be the question of the day that was going on. And I found it hysterical, and I'm like, well, gotta bring this up to my co-host now. But yes, today was in Brussels, right? I think they said. Friday was SmackDown in Barcelona. Like we said, these shows are all be at 3 p.m. or you can watch them on demand through March 31st. Now, at first, with these European tours, I know you may have heard me complain before, Dan, but that complaint may have been more of an inconvenience to my self-interest, which is very rare for B to do, Dan. Very rare.
Yeah.
But what's your thoughts on these 3 p.m. shows? I was like, we started talking about a little bit before the pod, but how do you feel about this?
Yeah, I mean, I like it for now, right? Like, I think it's different. I don't think I'd like it if it was every week forever, right? Like, just because it's work and, whatever. But, as a little breakup to the year, with different timing and stuff, I don't think it's that bad. Especially given that we can watch the replay right away if we want, right? Like, being on Netflix makes it completely different. And I do like the aspect of having the opportunity to watch it live, versus, finding either some international source to watch it, like SmackDown, right? Like, it aired at 8 o'clock still in our area, unless you found a stream somewhere that was showing it, right?
Yeah.
So I like that ability either way. So, but it was nice. It was good. Yeah. I had it on, during the workday, kind of in the background for most of the show.
Agreed. Yeah. We were starting to get at this point prior to the pod starting. And I think this goes off of your point of, like, for a period of time, like, this kind of makes it extra special, right? Because right now, WWE is the hottest it's been in a while, right? Like, I mean, they're white hot. Everything sells out. Jay's hot. Gunther's hot. Like, everything is just top notch. Crowds are loving it. Merchandise is getting bought. Like, all types of cash is flowing in for WWE, right? But, like, I guess, I don't know, pose this follow-up question to you. Do you think that this is... do you think we owe some type of praise to Triple H for how he's kind of held the storylines together, and now that they're on the European tour, he's kind of unleashing what he's had in the bag, right? Because we didn't see Rock for a while. He showed up at the post, end of a card. He starts doing the 1, 2, 3 thing, right? And he does that. So then people are like, oh, okay, is he going to be back the following week? What's going on, right? Yeah. Then they actually Cena's tour was starting. He was doing film. He's flying all over the place again. so on and so on, right? Because they're both global stars, right?
Yep.
But it seems like this may have been in Hunter's back pocket based on what went on at the Elimination Chamber. That he's kind of like, all right, we have the European tour before Mania, less than what? I don't know, less than almost a month out, right? April 19th
Mm-hmm.
to 20th. So
Yep.
he just flips the switch. Not only are they white hot on the European tour, but you're getting Cody and Cena under the same roof if you watched it earlier, or spoilers if you're watching it tonight at 8 o'clock. Roman Reigns is coming back to Italy on SmackDown Friday. That's been announced. Punk's going to be back. Like, this feels like they've been building the perfect storm with this, right? Like, they kind of just knew what they had and they're subtly placing the pieces. And then here we are. They're kind of on their tour, setting it off. And if this was like a Madison Square Garden show, that would feel big, right? With Reigns and Cena and Punk showing up to the same shows, right? And Cody, like that would feel big, right? But now you throw like a European crowd on top of that, which are usually the craziest crowds because it's the same crowds that you get at soccer games. So they have the craziest chants. They bring the energy
Oh
nonstop
yeah.
because they're used to 90 minutes of chanting nonstop. These are smaller arenas, it looks like, but they're still packed. They don't get shows here often, so everybody's shown up when they do get shows. And then Netflix is kind of like the cherry on top, right? Like I gotta feel like all of these European shows are gonna try and outdo the past one, right? Just like Barca was crazy, and now Brussels today, as we'll talk about it in a bit. What they were doing to Cena, like it just feels like tying all this together, them putting this on the road like they did, planting the European tour. It was the perfect storm to just make everything fit so well. And now it feels like it's just 1,000 times bigger because it's being broadcasted on Netflix, right? Like it's just
Yeah.
insane. Like it's just like I guess would you? I guess that's a long-winded way of. Would you credit this to Triple H's long-term storytelling skills? Like, do you think this is just a perfect storm of everybody being available at the right time and no injuries? Knock on wood. Like, what do you think just makes this feel
Yeah.
so much bigger than a Raw? Right? Like, it just
Yeah. I mean,
it's
I
huge.
think it's I think it's all of those things working in tandem, right? Like, they do have seemingly unlimited resources,
Yep.
whether that be production, money, talent, right? Like you're right, there's not really any major injuries out there, right? Like they have everything at their disposal, and they have Triple H and the people above him too, right? And the people around him who are um a little more open-minded with story, for sure, right? They're a little more open-minded with story. They're a little open-minded about the business. Um, they're willing to do things a little bit differently, and they probably, to a degree, have a happier locker room because of that. And when you have a happier workforce, your business is always going to do better. So I think it's all those things. I don't think it's just one thing. I think it's all those things working together. And then you take the atmosphere, which you talked about at the beginning, right? Like these European crowds are already a better atmosphere, a different atmosphere to begin with. And they don't get wrestling that often, certainly not televised wrestling,
Right.
right? So they're already they're already a different type of crowd to begin with, and then you give them something that they don't often get, and they're that much more hyped, right? And they just did not quit. I mean, I didn't think anybody was going to be able to match what France did when they had the pay-per-view at France. And I think tonight's crowd, whatever you want to call it, was pretty darn close to how France was.
I
You know,
personally prefer the crowd tonight. It's just I think the only thing they did better in France was it the reaction to Seth or Jay that was shown in France. I forget where like you saw the whole thing just shaking.
that was AJ
Oh yeah,
Styles.
yeah, that was AJ. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Which they were Brussels was singing that same song that France sang.
Yeah.
Um, when AJ was on screen, and he wasn't even in the ring; he was in the back, doing a backstage promo. Um, which thank God it wasn't pre-taped because he got to react live to the crowd. But um, yeah, I mean that's why I'm like Lyon, France was something we hadn't seen in ages in a wrestling show,
Yeah.
and then Brussels was on par with it for sure,
Yeah.
absolutely on par with it. Um, so you put all that together, and they're bigger venues. To your point that it's a bigger event, they know they can pack a pay-per-view size
Yeah.
event, so they can pick a big spot because they know they're going to sell it out basically, or they're going to come close to it. And in that size arena, even if it's not a complete sellout, which it probably was, but even if it wasn't, it's still going to be a lot more than what you get at smaller markets in the United States. And they just pack it in. So I mean, yeah, it had a pay-per-view type PLE type feel to it, size wise for sure. Doesn't surprise me at all. And then they just go. They're just going from start to finish. It's too bad it's not like that here though. It would be fun to be at a show that's more like that here in the United States.
Yeah, I was thinking about this today. I I I looked this up while I was working. I probably shouldn't have, but anyways, let me pull this up again. So let's just say okay. So the average with WrestleMania tickets, what now, Dan?
God, I don't even know. The average ticket, I don't know. It's got to be $500-600.
Supposedly the average price is $16.41 for a cheap ticket. Tickets start at 18. Tickets go as high as that's not 85,000. Is this 85? This can't be true. Here, let me pull this up real quick because I was thinking about this. Um, so WrestleMania 40 tickets, the most expensive ticket, went for over 7,000. Located in section F1, right next to the entrance ramp. There's tickets for 8,300 and some for 4,900, depending on your section. I found flights to Brussels, multi-stop, 2 stops, $653.
Yeah.
Now, this is going to be a personal hot take with how cheap I can be.
All right.
Like as you saw in the group text earlier, when my dad retires, I want to go to a European show.
Yeah.
Is that wild that like that thought crossed my head based on the fact of I'm just like because the crowd did it. Like I was just watching the crowd go at Cena, and I'm like, all right, I don't think WrestleMania Mania is a personal dream anymore for me. Like, it would be nice, but a more reasonable thing was I want to be in a European crowd. Like, I just want to feel that, right? Like, so I had that crazy dream.
I mean, I don't think that's a crazy thought. I thought for a second you were going to tell me you'd rather do that than WrestleMania, and then I was going to say you're a little crazy, but
Oh, yes, yes. That's what I'm getting at. Yes.
oh, you
Based
are
on
getting
price
that.
rise, based on the travel options I found, based on that crowd, yes. I would much personally, I would much rather go to that because I wouldn't feel as bad as I would feel if I had to spend that much to get into WrestleMania. I think that thing would drive my anxiety crazy, is how much I would have to spend to actually get into WrestleMania. Yes, it's a bucket list and it will be accomplished, but I don't think I could let myself enjoy it at the time. Like, that's how screwed in the head I am. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what if money wasn't a
Okay.
factor?
Okay, Dad, have you seen the stock market lately? It's going to be a factor for a while.
I'm just saying, if you could spend the same amount of money for either event, one is traveling abroad and doing it, or one is going to a local WrestleMania. If it's the same, like flight, hotel, right? Like, because you got to figure going abroad for a show. I want to do that too. So I'm not arguing with you that that's not a good thing to have on the list. But flight, hotel, tickets, you know, some of the travel costs while you're there, whatever, or a drivable, you know, let's say just a WrestleMania here. Maybe let's just pretend it's local, so there's no hotel. You know, might work out to be about the same. What do you do?
Dan, the best ticket package, is it
I'm
pounds
just
over there?
I'm not saying this is all that realistic. I'm just adding a little bit of a
No, but
twist for you.
I just pulled up the prices. The 360 WWE Superstar Experience would have cost us $800. That's the best package that WWE offered. That would be a third of. Oh, sorry, euros. Chat GPT is telling me that it's 750 euros.
Okay.
That's a good question, and I don't want to get us too sidetracked. But if money wasn't, but I also thought about this as well.
I mean, if money wasn't an object, we'd just do both. So, like, I
Yeah.
know that answer, but I'm just saying, if money wasn't, because I agree with you, if it's cheaper to do the Europe show, all things considered, yeah, I'd probably go do the Europe
Well,
show. I mean, I want to get to WrestleMania too, but I
yeah.
also don't want to sit in the nosebleeds. So I know it's
Right.
not going to happen,
Right.
right? Because I'm not going to get an opportunity to sit that close. I'm not going to spend the money to sit that close, right?
Well,
Like,
and I was wondering, what if we get the Raw after Mania? Because that's usually a predominantly European crowd as well. Because they're staying that extra day to get that showing. Because if they're flying over, they're getting the full packaging, right? Because you see all the flags in the audience as well. So if there's
yeah,
a way to get tickets for that, that's like a good like teaser until I'd be like, hey, wife, I'm going to Brussels. I'll see you next Tuesday, okay? And hopefully the locks on the door aren't changed when I get home. Um,
they probably will be,
yeah,
but
it's fine. It's a good thing you have a spare couch. But yeah, I mean, obviously, like you said, if there wasn't an issue with anything, we would do both. I don't know. Just being in, like, just watching this crowd in the arena is what just tilted B to saying a European show is much more doable. Like this, like it's just been electric. 2 straight shows, right? Like we said, they're just gonna continue to try and outdo each other. And now this whole Cena thing and Cody thing, like it's the perfect feud for this. Like it's the
yeah.
perfect feud. Um, I guess to follow up on that, see now you got me thinking financials, Dan. God damn it. question for you.
Yeah.
Cody's promo on SmackDown on the 14th. You think it was good enough? Were you expecting more from it? What are your thoughts? Because because it was kind of technically short for him, right?
I
So
thought it, I thought it was fine.
yeah,
I really did. I
okay,
mean, I mean, we'll talk more about this after tonight, after when we talk about today's promo with Raw. But no, I thought it was fine, right? Because he's mad,
yep,
right? Like he's angry, he needs revenge. And also too, like this could still be building a little bit to an eventual heel turn for him. Right? Because it's very unlike him to just walk into a ring and attack the Miz, you know, and put a guy out, and say like I don't want to talk to anybody but John Cena. That's just not the
that's not
baby
him.
face Cody, right? So they could still be laying that groundwork for the future too. But even if you aren't, I don't have a problem with it. I thought it was great in that sense. It's quick, right? Instead of kind of placating with a little bit back and forth and Miz being an antagonist, most likely, which eventually leads to probably Cody taking him out. Um, I thought it was great because he should be pissed, right? Like, especially when you add in the way his face looked and his
Yeah,
eye and all that stuff, right? Like, he's got to have an edge going into this, right? Like, so I thought it was perfect, and the crowd loved it, right? Like, I think that's all you need is like the crowd reaction was great.
yeah. I mean, that crowd was buzzing too, right? And we actually had a and not that we'll get too deep into that card, but congratulations to the Street Profits because that's the second time we've seen a title change holders on the way to WrestleMania with the Street Profits taking the tag titles from DIY. So, baby, we're gonna get closer to Bianca getting on the dark side and be, being a bad guy, but we'll see. Yeah, I agree with you. I think at first I thought it was rare that Cody didn't get the time he normally has, right? I thought it was kind of like at first I thought it was awkward that it kind of felt like they pushed him out there, he said what he said and then he was done, right?
Right, right.
But now like going back and watching it and seeing how it builds into this show, I don't think he has to do much going forward. He'll have to show up, you know, remind everybody he has this going on with Cena. But like, what else does he have to do? You know,
No, right. No, I agree.
like let's get into it then today. 3 o'clock p.m. our time. Raw starts. Crowd is crazy already, and who starts the show, Dan? Exactly. Because now we can see him that he's not a heel. Um, Cena starts the show. I'll let you go first. What's your thoughts on his promo?
I loved every bit of it. I thought it started just a tiny bit slow in the sense of like I wasn't exactly sure what we were getting. So Flair, like the first maybe 60, 90 seconds, I was a little like, am I gonna like this? And then he hit a rhythm and whatnot with it. And I was like, oh, I love this. I love everything about this. Um, I think this is great. The more because I've been thinking about this, right? And we've been talking about it. How is he going to be a heel? And you know, I wondered, like, is he just going to? We talked about it. Is he going to have a wardrobe change? Is he going to have new music? Is he going to whatever? And that seemingly, like, I think we landed on he probably wouldn't have any of that stuff, but you know, it was going to be weird if he didn't make some kind of change. What did he do? Didn't make a change at all, and then used it as part of the reason, like you don't deserve to get a new Cena. You don't like I'm not a babyface, I'm not a heel. I'm just whatever, but like you don't deserve for me to change my look, to give you new music. Like you get what I give you now. Like, and I thought, oh, this is perfect. This guy who's been the ultimate baby face for 20 year or whatever it's been, right? Like, and just push through it all. And now he's gonna be like, screw you. I'm gonna be selfish about this. Right. And not only I'm going to be selfish about it, but I'm going to teach you everything that's quote unquote wrong with you and how you used me. And I mean, the fact when he said we've been in an abusive relation, I've been in an abusive relationship with fans. I was like, man, this is great. This is absolutely great. And he didn't have to mention The Rock once, which I thought maybe would happen. Like, will we get a little explanation of why, how The Rock is involved with this other than, or whatever. I'm sure that could still come too. Like, probably didn't do it because he knows The Rock's not going to be around for a bit. So you're not going to do it until like maybe The Rock's going to be back sooner. No, I loved everything about it. There wasn't anything like other than I said at first I was like, you could tell he like just was a little maybe unsure of himself, but didn't take him long to get out of that funk. That's for sure.
Yes.
So I thought it was great. Um, and I just love that that's where he's going with it.
And
I was waiting for him to actually take a shot at Make-A-Wish kids at one point.
well, he didn't take a shot at Make-A-Wish, but he took a shot at the kid that was kind of tearing up in the front row with his like Cena hat and shirt on. Yeah, I am in agreement with all your points. Going into this, I thought it was gonna be a little weird if we got victim Cena because I didn't know how that was gonna come across. Like after the last 20+ years of now all of a sudden he's a victim, like because that could kind of come out a little bit awkward. Um, now that he's done it, I love it. Just like you said, couple of points. He did refer to himself as a victim. He's a victim of an abusive relationship for 20+ years. Uh, he referred to the joke that's been going on for 15 years that nobody could see him. And he kind of put on like his grumpy cat face when he got done talking about that. Like he frowned big time from that. Try and think. He said he's not a heel. He's not a face. He's a human being. So obviously that kind of leaves the door open if he wants to turn back, right? Towards the end of his career, like his 2025 run here. And he said, I thought about this my last year here with the company. I decided to do, the international shows. I was trying to do do something nice one last time, and then the crowd starts chanting that goodbye song, that hey goodbye,
Oh yeah.
which was just hysterical by the crowd, right? Because the way that this crowd responded to Cena in his promo, it actually like the crowd became its own character, right? Because everything they did just intensified what John did in the ring. And for anybody that's subscribed to Fightful just put out a roundup email saying that everybody in WWE was extremely pleased with the crowd's reaction to John. You think? You think they were extremely pleased? It was exactly what they wanted because they know they just made a boatload of cash off of this. Yes, I took that down in my notes too. That John said, no, you don't get that part of me. That song has my voice on it. It's staying here. These clothes are me dressing as B. To all of you out there in the crowd that had these clothes on, I'm not dressing like you. You're dressing like me. He rips into them, and he called specific people that he pointed to in the crowd out as well, which is crazy. And then around 3:21, 3:22 our time PM, Cody hit. And then the crowd I didn't think the crowd could go to another level, but it did.
Yeah. Yeah.
During Cena's promos, it's kind of funny. It seemed like Netflix or whoever was in charge of the streaming was trying to block out the FU Cena chants, but they still got through with the tempo that they were doing it. But then you hear it
Yeah.
like kind of blurred out, but then the crowd just picked it up the next time and it got louder. So it's like at that point, just let it go. Like just like you know what I mean? Like what are you gonna do? Like yeah, so that like the crowd was all over Cena. It started with Cena sucks, and then the "fu Cena" chants. Did um did the crowd do the "thank you Cena" chants at all, or was it just straight?
No, the only thing semi-positive was the "Let's Go Cena" to the "Cena sucks" things. That was the
Yes,
only
that's it.
thing.
Right, right. Thank you for bringing that up. Yep.
That was the only thing. I mean, when his music first hit, they kind of went nuts, and then they turned to booze, but which was kind of interesting. Like, um, it's that weird dynamic, right? Because 95% of the people there are wrestling fans who are legitimately enjoying the fact that he's a heel now, and then 5% are actually like, man,
mm-hmm.
and hate him for it, right? So
I
he's
think
still gonna. I
it's
mean, just like The Rock, right? Like when The Rock randomly appears and you're not expecting it, that music hits and everybody goes nuts, and then they get to the booze, But um, yeah, it was
um
interesting for sure.
and Fightful confirmed that there was the "fu Cena" chants, and then "Cena's a fucking bitch" chant. That was the other chant.
Oh, that
Which,
was the one I probably couldn't figure out. There was one where I was like, "What are they saying?"
yeah,
Yeah,
um, which well done, Brussels. Well done. I mean, that's all I could say. Like they brought Cena's promo to a whole other level, and I don't know if Cena's promo would have hit the same if he was just at a regular like MSG card. I think part of Cena going the way he did and with how hard he went in that promo, it just made that card that much more intense, like we both already said. But around 321, 322, we get Cody out there. What's your thoughts on Cody?
I thought it was good. I was surprised it didn't get physical a little bit, but I guess they're probably just saving that.
Yeah.
Um, but I thought it was good because I don't know what else you can say to him, right? Like, he's playing the angle he's playing about this was a toxic relationship. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of you, right? So like all you can kind of do is say what happened to the John Cena we all loved and adored and admired and respected. So I think that's all you could do.
Um, I love how Cody brought the intensity for today's promo. Right.
Yeah,
Like
I
what?
think you're going to see that all the way through WrestleMania.
Yeah, and I think it stepped up a little bit from SmackDown, right? To where your point is, they eventually get physical beforehand. But when
Right.
John called him kid, he said it's not kid, it's WWE champion, and then he held the belt in his face, right? So that was kind of like a big step up, like this cocky, confident Cody. We haven't really seen that, right? Because he's had to go to hell and back with Brock. He's had to go to hell and back to get through the bloodline how many times?
Right.
He's had to go through hell and back to get through the bloodline 2.0. Like he going into everything he's done over the last 2 years, you could make the case or you could make the argument, yeah, it seems like Cody's going to win, but here's why Cody's not going to win. And I could have been like, yeah, that makes sense because he didn't seem confident in it, right? But now
Right.
and then he brought up the point. He said, "You sit here and you complain that these people have treated you like this for 20 plus years. And I think along the lines he responded and said they they did that because you were supposed to be able to take it, which is like I don't think you would ever hear Cody say something to that like John. Like that is hitting a soft spot for sure. Um, and then he goes, I don't know what this is, but if this shows up to WrestleMania, I will retire this early. And he continues with, find John Cena. I want to wrestle him at WrestleMania, not this whiny bitch. And then he drops the mic, walks to the ropes, shows the belt, faces John, turns around and walks away. And then he kind of stops as he gets to like the bottom of the ramp, and he turns to look back again, and John's just staring at him. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is poetry. It was beautiful. Like it's like beautiful. Like Cody didn't have to do too much based on how intense John got through his. Like if you go back and you watch this, Dan, when John starts his promo and the camera's like zoomed in on his face. I know the Rock does this all the time, but you see the goosebumps all up his arm and all down his neck. Like it is like it's that zoomed in that you see like he is that much adrenaline running through his body through this. Yeah, I mean it. I don't know. Like I really was a fan of when he called out Roman in the ring a few years ago, or when he did the promo against Austin Theory about piping in crowd sounds. But did heel John Cena just give us the best promo that Cena has ever done?
Oh, that's tough. I mean, it's possible, but like, I'm sure I'd have to look through, to see what I'm missing, right? Like,
I mean, because this one was one for the ages. I mean, you'd have the stuff what he did with The Rock. You had the stuff he did with Punk was good. Um,
yeah, I mean,
like the stuff with AJ Styles. I think AJ Styles was one of the first ones that WWE actually let continue to hit Cena with "you bury everybody backstage" type comments. When it's Cena and Nikki, and it's Miz and Maurice, like that got good in the ring. But I don't know. I mean, once again, this just may be from the simple fact that I watched it, 4.5 hours ago, that I'm still on an adrenaline rush from watching it, right? Like, that could simply be what this is. But that was a hell of a promo. I think if it's not the best, it has to be top two, top three of the ones that he's ever done. Like,
yeah, I mean, some of those ones with The Rock he did,
yeah,
really were good,
yes,
right?
yes,
Like,
yep.
so yeah, I could agree with you. Top three without even looking, but like, I'd have to look to see too what else there was. But he's had some good ones for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like when he did the whole thing with the Rock is that I don't have to write my promo on my wrist, and then he tossed the armband out. Like that was big for somebody pulling that out against the Rock. Um, yeah, it's crazy, man. It's I don't.
I mean, he also had that one. He also had that one where he like embarrassed the shit out of Roman Reigns.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Where he said, "Let's
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
go, Shane. You're gonna have to learn how to cut a
Yeah.
promo."
Yeah. Right. Like, and yeah, and I was just Googling some too. Like, yeah, I'm here because you can't do your job.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Like that line is an all-time line, especially back then, when you think about Roman at the time, right? Like
yeah. People didn't
he
know.
right, and like Vince was just trying to push him so hard to the top, and the fans just weren't accepting him as a top dog at the time. And Cena was like, "Oh, I'm gonna exploit the shit out of this," and that was an all timer too. Um,
Yeah, because he started it off by saying, um, "I do this part time better than you'll ever be able to do it full time." Or
right.
no, that's how he ended it. Yeah, yeah,
So
that's crazy, man.
yeah, I mean those might be his best three: The Rock, Roman, and today's might be his best three in some order. I'm not ordering those, but
No, that's fine. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's pretty good. It's good stuff.
yeah. That Punk and Rock stuff was good too, because that was right when Punk was threatening to quit, right? Because he
Mm-hmm.
had the issues with the doctors, he had the issues with Vince and Hunter backstage. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to think. Yeah, man, it was electric, right? And they still kind of left the door open, right? Because we didn't like you heard Cody say the one line on SmackDown how he ran into a wall of the final boss, but um you really haven't had him say anything about The Rock, so you know that's eventually coming, right? Like
No, right. That's what I'm saying. They're saving that, I think.
so, like The Rock should be on its way before Mania, or if not, you know, obviously at Mania. Um, I wanted to run this by you before we ran through the card. Do you think The Rock walks out Cena at Mania, or do you think like The Rock is the first? The first does his music hit first before Cody or Cena, and then he's just kind of walking around the ring? How do you think they do this?
I think it's gonna be I don't know. I don't know, but I don't think he's even gonna be out there for that match. I mean, unless he does something at the end, like they did last year, right? Like I assume that he's going to, there might be something on night one and then the match on night two, I don't think he comes out. Yeah, I don't think he does. I don't think he comes out at all. I think he's just involved in general leading up to it. Um, but if he is going to be out there, he probably comes out last,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah. It's so interesting because not to say that this is a B storyline, but then on SmackDown, Seth Rollins said he's going to SmackDown in Italy, so we're getting Punk, Roman, and Seth Friday night, the 21st. So
Yeah.
what do you think we're getting there? Do you think we're getting Heyman? Do you think they like? Do you think all three of them have somewhat of a promo that they cut that night? Like, what do you think is happening?
Yeah, I think it's a three-way promo and it ends in a brawl, you know.
Is is Paul out there?
Yes. With Roman, I'm sure.
Yes.
I'm sure. Comes out with Roman, and from there, I don't know, but my guess is all three. Maybe they're not all ringside or in the ring. Maybe one's in the stands, right? Like one's in the crowd,
Yeah, Punk's done
one's
that
in
before.
right, one's in the crowd, one's in the ring, one's at the entrance, or one's ringside but not in the ring. Like I think they probably start with that or something like that. Um, but then again, too, they might just, the Seth and Punk, they go back and forth between being able to do promos and then being in fisticuffs all the time. So they might just put all three in the ring. Why not? I mean, they're clearly headed that way with the
Yeah.
match, so they might just put all three in a ring and give them three microphones and say, "Go to town, have a promo."
I
You know,
think
they're gonna have to be a little bit tighter since it's SmackDown and they don't have the, you know, they don't have the ability to go more than 2 hours, most likely, but or whatever the time frame is. So, you know, because it seemed like all of them took their liberties on Raw today with letting the crowd kind of take over for a while.
well, and it went kind of long for that aspect of it because when they announced Jay, they didn't give Austin an entrance.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, Seth really
yeah,
milked it for a
yeah.
while. John milked it pretty long too, you know. Um, but Seth really milked it as well. So, you know, they all did a little bit. AJ milked it for, you know, an extra 10, 15 seconds. Nothing crazy, but it all matters.
Mm-hmm.
What did the show clock in at total?
Right,
Let me see.
220 ish. I think 221.
Oh yeah, 221. Well, that's
Yeah, it's not bad for an
not too
international.
bad. Although March 10th and March 3rd's an hour 54, an hour 49, hour 56, hour 51.
So it was an extra 20 with them on an international schedule. That's not
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah,
Now you throw the Rock in there, and it probably becomes a 3 hour and 15 minute show
yeah.
because he
Actually,
pulls out
yeah,
his guitar, starts doing a little song and dance like he likes to do. Um, yeah, But back to the other storyline, which is like an storyline 8.1. I think Punk comes out to start the show with a promo. I think Seth interrupts him, and then I think we get either Roman coming down to just pound on both of them, or I think we get Roman starting the show, and he starts to question Paul on what Paul was doing with Punk.
yeah. I think you're right. I think you get Roman with a Punk interruption and then a Seth interruption in that order. I think that's what you get. And I agree. It might be a little bit of grilling Paul or talking to Paul, and then Punk comes out to say, "Yeah, I'm the original Paul Heyman guy," right? Like, or whatever he wants to say, and then Seth comes out to interrupt Punk. I think that's how that goes.
So before we run through just the full card, we're gonna get two triple threats at Mania, and I called the first one. I called
Yeah,
that, which we both
yeah.
thought was weird because I think it takes away from Io. Which, if anybody didn't catch up yet, it's a
Or
spoiler.
or I mean, or maybe they just take Bianca out of it.
That would be wild. Do they take Bianca out because Rhea hurts her before then?
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe there's more to the Jade Naomi thing. I don't know.
That's a good point.
I think you're right. It's probably triple threat, but I just wonder because you know the way they did it, the contract technically is signed by two people now, right? Io and Rhea.
Yep.
So Bianca's the odd person out there, you know. And of course, they made every mention to say it's not binding, you know. But I think most likely you're right. But I just wonder, like, could they be replacing Bianca completely somehow? You know, I don't know why. Like that's the thing. It
Yeah,
doesn't
it
make
doesn't make
sense to me
sense.
why. But you know, they've done weird things before. Maybe, you know, I don't know. But other than it just brings in a new level of curiosity. But yeah, no, I think you could certainly be getting two triple threats. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, you got two nights that you want to pack, and you want to pack them with a lot of good stuff. You got a lot of people to feature. One way to do it is to put more, schedule in some triple threats, some fatal four ways, maybe, things like that. We've seen it before, right? Fatal four way tag ladder matches, right? You get eight people in there.
Yeah.
It's a way
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah, it's very interesting that we're getting two of these triple threats at Mania. Like, just because we've technically called both of them, right? Like, because I think we were one of the first pod episodes to basically say we would get Roman, Seth, and Punk at Mania before the Rumble, and that's how it unfolded. Like, we
Yeah.
thought we were going to get some aspect of that, because what are you going to do with Cody, right? Like, it just didn't make sense at the time that Punk was going to get through Rumble clean and then go get a shot at Cody. Or Roman was going to get another shot at Cody through Rumble, but then Punk has the favor to use, right? And then it kind of left Seth as the odd man out the whole entire time.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it was kind of written on the wall. Obviously, we caught that stuff. We didn't catch all the key details when Cena did the post show after the Rumble and basically said, this is what's best for business. I mean, that's kind of the biggest, hey, I'm going to turn heel now that we're actually here, that he basically said, and we kind of just thought, yeah, it was different. Let's see where they go with it, type of thing. But yeah, I mean, if you look at this card, right, like, not to be a jerk about this, but like, this is a Hershey, Pennsylvania card. If you take out Cody's promo and you take out Cena's promo, right? Like, you have Penta beating Ludwig, which was great. You have Dakota Kai beating Ivy. Jay obviously got his shot at Austin. Did you see the botch that Jay had on the suicide dive?
That was unfortunate. That was that
Ooh.
that was that top dollar botch.
That was
sure.
that Damian Priest type botch. He tried to do too much.
Oh, that too.
It got too winded or something. That could have been bad, right? And the main event was Braun Breaker beating Finn to keep the title. But that's the thing, right? Like, I don't know, like, this card's not strong, but it felt like a huge event.
Yeah, I mean the Penta thing though, I mean that's a no holds barred match, right?
Yeah, which is crazy for a Raw. Yeah, that's crazy.
Finn for a title match, a real title match, Braun and Finn, that's a pretty big deal. I mean, the tag team matches, were whatever, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was still good show, but like, just the crowd, like I said before, the crowd being its own character definitely brought this show to a different level. And Corey Graves was back, which like, I texted you this when I first saw it. Jay came out there and did the 3 claps with Cole, and then he stands there and stares at Corey, and all he gives Corey is a fist bump, and then that's it, and then walks away from Corey. So it's kind of funny that, like, Corey's getting a cold shoulder from some people now of, like, yeah, we've been sacrificing everything too here, buddy. You don't see us complaining on Twitter about it. But, yeah, I mean, and, like, for a B or C storyline, it seems like we're getting closer to Finn Balor breaking up with the Judgment Day, right? Because they basically cost him that, right? So,
for sure.
Question for you on that I wanted to bring up. Finn Balor breaks off, right?
Yeah.
And on SmackDown, we got what? The smoky screen, and it said 4 in white, right? For the Barca
Yes.
SmackDown.
Yep.
Does Aleister Black take Finn's spot at Judgment Day, or does Finn start induced stable with Aleister Black?
Um.
Because there's been that
Wait.
rumor
So
that
you think? Yeah.
Finn is eventually going to get his own stable because everybody backstage is so high on what he's been able to do with the Judgment Day.
Yeah. No,
Or,
I think.
or
Well,
do
I
you,
don't know.
or do you think Aleister Black just comes back and he's just by himself?
I think he's probably just by himself. I don't know that they put him right into a faction.
I mean, because he was a guy that you know feuded with Cody when he showed up at AEW. So you can definitely down the line if you just need somebody to fill some time with Cody. Um, I mean, it can make sense because I know WWE fans say they don't watch AEW, but a lot of them do. So it would make sense to them. Um, Here's one for you, and this is just out of left field completely. So here we go, Dan.
I love him out of left field.
What if Karrion Kross brings him back? And then
Yeah.
you get Karrion and Aleister Black, right? Because Karrion is basically I think AJ said this on SmackDown this past Friday or the week before that Karrion's supposed to be sitting on his shoulder like the little devil. So what if you know what I mean? Because AOP is gone.
Yeah.
This would bring a little bit of a buzz to Karrion Kross, right? Yeah, I don't know. I'm very interested for him to be back. Like we've been talking over the past year, I've been telling you that I want him to bring Brody and I want him to bring Buddy over as well. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm very excited for him to be back, but I have concerns. Do, do you think it's right to have concerns with how they're going to do it?
Um.
Here,
I wouldn't have concerns. Why do you have concerns with the way they've been?
with the way they've been hot, I agree. I have concerns because he's not going to be in one of the top A storylines.
Okay.
And I think that might cause his return to not get the full impact that it probably deserves. Right? Because if you think about it, Jay Jay takes the title from Gunther at Mania. You could say that's the third top storyline, right? Because
Yeah.
Cody and Cena is going to be one, right? No matter what. Cody and whatever goes on with the Rock could be two, right?
Yeah.
Roman, Punk, and Seth, that's three, right? Just like I said to you a couple weeks ago, I had concerns what would overshadow Jay winning the title. Now I'd have concerns based on that Aleister won't be a top storyline guy. Is that going to hurt his return?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, right? And then of course um they showed your other favorite guy on the SmackDown teaser, Dan.
Ray Phoenix. Yeah.
Yep. So he'll be back.
It's a little weird if it's SmackDown, not putting them with their brother, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Is Braun Breaker, is he on Raw or SmackDown? He's on Raw, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Um. Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting. So Ringside do this, stating that when Phoenix joined, they will be paired together.
Yeah, so I don't. I mean, I know they're a little loose with the rosters, but it's just interesting, the way they're doing that.
Yeah. Or they can do it like that. Phoenix is always going to be traveling. So if Penta gets like run down by anybody, by the Judgment Day or something, right? Because Dom brought up the point that, hey, should we try and get Penta to join the Judgment Day? And then Finn said, Penta just said he wants my Intercontinental title. And he goes, you're a snake. And then he walks away. And then Carlito looks at Dom and goes, you don't watch the show, do you? Like,
Yeah,
like it's perfect, right? It's
hilarious.
yeah, it just fits perfectly. Yeah, I mean, I don't, like, do you throw them in the mix for the tag team titles right away? Or do you let Penta get this IC title?
Oh, I think Penta's gonna get the IC title.
Agreed.
I still think they're gonna. Um, I still think they're gonna feud with each other at first.
That'd be crazy.
So.
That'll be crazy if they pull that off. That'll be nuts. Um, there's something else. So then what happens to Brock? Yeah, go on.
Maybe Ray screws up Penta's chance for the IC title.
Like he comes out as support, and then
he screws them.
Yeah, but he comes out as support, and then something goes wrong or something, and then Penta gets pinned 1, 2, 3, and then Penta's pissed. Yeah, I could see that happening. If Penta takes the IC title, what do you think they do with Braun? Do you think it's when Braun was chasing the last time he dropped the title? Or do you think?
Yeah, they could, or they just move him on to something else. I don't know. They probably just move him on to something else for now.
Is Braun the first one that takes a crack at Jay with the title? You think?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I don't think so either. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So, yeah, it's it's crazy, man. We've been talking about this. It's just it's insane how good it is, right? Like, and it feels like they're only getting stronger, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like it just
for sure.
Like it just feels they're, I don't know. They're hitting new spaces that were like, oh, I didn't even catch that, or oh, I didn't catch that. Or that small thing, right? Like let's see here. I just wanted to bring up one more thing to you. So this, what was this? That was 24. So it's funny for anybody that listens to Busted Open. People have been calling in the Busted Open, because they've been calling Bully out on his. He predicted back in November of 24. He had a prediction or a guess that the main event of WrestleMania would be a 3-way for the title: Cody, Cena, and Roman.
Everybody's seen Roman. Yeah.
right? And that's kind of what we all thought could happen at the time, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I mean, it's just funny how it's you know like completely different now, right? Like it's just crazy because, like we said, they're only getting stronger. They're adding people to the roster. They have a plan for everything that it seems like they're doing. There's some things the women's division feels kind of flat. I would say. I don't know about you. Um, it just I don't know. Like the Tiffy and Charlotte stuff feels fine, but if we're not getting Charlotte 2.0 from that, Charlotte and Rhea 2.0 from that,
Yeah.
like what are
Well,
we
I
doing?
mean,
Like what are we like?
yeah.
So what's it for? Because technically Charlotte's not done, right? So it's not like she's passing the torch. And if you have her take the title from Tiffy right now, well then what was the point of giving Tiffy the title? Because she hasn't really wrestled anybody. She's just been feuding with Naya on SmackDown and Raw shows. So it's kind of like, what are
Yeah.
you doing, right? Like if you're behind her, then be behind her the full way, right?
Yeah, this is kind of why I think, I mean, it was probably a month ago where I kind of said, like, I don't know, what are, they're kind of wasting this women's roster right now, like, because we're
Yeah,
not doing a lot here,
yeah. I mean,
you know?
we call like, yeah. We talked about the triple threat, um, but supposedly, so I don't know. Fightful reported this. As you couldn't tell, the plan has been for Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Io Sky triple threat at WrestleMania. R- Ripley and Belair have been planned to be involved in the show together for a number of months. So, at what point do you think they said, "Hey, let's just throw Io in"?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
I don't know.
If you were planning to get Ripley and Belair at Mania, because let's be honest, the storyline that Io's been on hasn't been anything great, right? And you have Ripley constantly yelling at Pierce, saying, "I signed the contract. This counts," and he repeats, "It's like talking to a toddler. It doesn't." Right? So it's like them going back and forth, kind of like it's funny rather than it ties into the storyline, right? So it's like, what are we
Yeah.
doing here? But then we get the backstage brawl of Bianca running up on Rhea, giving her a stiff forearm, but then Neo comes out and smacks Belair. So now it's like the backstage altercation solidified the fact it's going to be a triple threat.
Yeah.
And can we talk about how the backstage shots of this stadium look like it's an underground rave club? Did you see all the spray paint that's on the
Oh,
wall?
yeah. Yeah, that's funny. I meant to mention that earlier. I'm like, what are we in? Like, what are we in the back alleys for all
Bro,
these promos?
it looked like an unlockable skate park in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. Like with all this spray paint. Like that's the only thing I could think of. I'm like, where like do you think the fans are selling ecstasy while this show's going on? Like that's what I thought of. Like this looks like, have you ever seen the show Euro Trip?
Yeah.
How like
Yeah.
they just stumbled into like these underground clubs? Like that's kind of what this like whenever they did a backstage shot, they had Jake come down the stairs. It's all spray paint all around him. Ripley gets thrown into the spray paint wall. Like it's hysterical. It was like, where are we? But then again, it's awesome. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, it was great.
and Fightful also reported for anyone that didn't get to see it yet, Lyra Valkyrie is on tour, and Zoe Stark is on tour. They're just not being used as of yet, which is kind of interesting. I wasn't sure what they would bring, like who they would bring on tour with them for in case of injuries or if they wanted to change something. I could
Well, they have a
see.
couple. They have a couple of live untelevised shows too. I
Yes,
think, right? So you gotta get it.
they'd
You
have
gotta have those ones, right?
yeah, they've had a couple of house shows.
Yeah.
The house show cards were basically the same so far from what's being reported. Besides, they had Ludwig Kaiser beating Austin Theory and Grayson Waller on altering nights. So what Jay has been doing on Raw, these towns have been watching Ludwig do on house shows, which is this a small step in the preparation for Ludwig to turn face?
Yeah, I think so.
Right? That would
Yeah, I
make
think so.
sense because they're not going to turn Austin and Grayson face, right?
No.
Like people can't stand them as is, like even when they're at the airports. So they're really not going to get much out of them being face. Um, and then this was actually pretty interesting. Cody versus Dominic was the post Raw dark match. That's kind of
Oh,
cool.
that's it. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Which shows you how much they trust Dom to go out there and wrestle the champion and everybody get back safe. Um, so yeah, it's cool. It's it's definitely a lot going on this tour. It's all interesting. It's all hot as we saw today. And correct me if I'm wrong, Dan. NXT still stateside,
I believe so. I
so that's
believe
on
so.
tomorrow night. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. It is crazy. Was there anything you wanted to discuss or talk about with the road to Bania or what occurred today on Raw?
No, I think we covered it all. I mean, I thought it was a good show. I am interested to see how Phoenix comes in. I had this feeling that the Gable angle was how they were going to do it. Um, but we have no real update on that yet. Like Gable's doing this thing with the mask, which is kind of funny because it's a little reminiscent of the Mr. America stuff they did with Hogan. But I don't know if they're like I don't know where they're going with that specifically, right? Because he's not really terrorizing any luchas. So
Well, he went after Ray today, right? If that's him, no, no. He showed up when?
well, he showed up for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, but specifically, he showed up today at the. Was it at the end of the Dakota Kai match, or was that when Ray ran down?
I think it was at the end of that. Hold on. Uh, let me see. See if I can find exactly when it was.
Yeah, it. I I think.
Yeah, it was after LWO beat American Made. Um, so I guess I'm wrong. He didn't attack any luchas, but like the whole thing was like him and Penta. So I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know
how it
where they're
started,
going with
right?
that. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Is
Well,
it going to be like Ray versus Gable for like retirement at WrestleMania? Maybe Mask versus career, right? They do that kind of stuff. That's very traditional of the luchadors, right? Like mask versus mask, and if you get unmasked, your career's over.
Yeah. Yeah, it's um oh, I yes, there was one more thing before the last topic I wanted to discuss with you. Did you see the video that came out this week of Cena walking across set? He has a full head of hair.
Oh yeah.
Well, people are
Well,
not talking about that enough on Blue Sky and Twitter.
I
We
mean,
we are not the. I don't care if it's plugs, Dan. We need to figure out. Dan, you don't think this is crazy? He turns heel and all of a sudden he looks like he's 26 again. Like, what are we doing?
I don't think it's plugs. I don't know if it's just like some of
The
that like
turkey transplant?
spray.
Oh, I didn't
Oh,
think about the spray. No, you don't think he
um,
went the WD 40 route?
well, I mean, the only reason I say that is because it's only been a few weeks since we last saw him. So plugs and the Turkish, Romanian, whatever deal takes months and months and months. Well, I guess maybe not plugs, but like the other things like the sprays and like the special way of combing and the spray. I mean, like, right? Like,
Hold on.
here we go.
A hair plant transplant procedure in Turkey typically takes 2 to 3 days, including the consultation, surgery, and the post-op care. The DHI
Yeah,
hair
but what
transplant
about for results?
full results, which he didn't need a full spot. He just needed 75% of a spot. Full results from hair can take between 12 to 15 months. The foot procedure
Yeah.
takes about 4 to 8 hours for them to staple shit into your head. No, thank you. I'll be out there like Vin Diesel telling people I live my life a quarter mile at a time when that happens. I'm going,
Yeah, those that Turkish Romanian deal, that all these guys are flying over there for. I mean, you come back bald. They shave your head to do it. And they literally like I mean, your head looks like a million pinpricks, right? It's like a tattoo with no ink. The way it starts at least. And then yeah, so I don't think it's that. Like maybe plugs, maybe some kind of like honestly, what if it's some kind of like extension essentially, right? That helps with like the comb over part of it, right? Because he's got enough hair around and up front that you could tie in and weave in a small extension maybe that would at least help cover it. But also too, that video, is that video like was like couldn't that a video been right after coming off set? It could just be movie makeup
probably
and
a wig I was
stuff
thinking at first.
right, like that they did to cover it during shooting,
Well,
you
that's
know?
why I was kind of hoping to see him get smacked in the face tonight. Because I wanted to see the
Well,
back of his head when his hat fell off.
that'd be hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Uh-uh. No. I'll be going full Caucasian Vin Diesel when that happens. I'll be a damn cue ball. Um, that's wild. And it's only like $2,000. Interesting. Anyways,
Only.
okay, Dan, let's calm down, okay? All right, well, to get this back on track, now that I slightly got us off track with all this tear talk bullshit, I was caught off guard. I'm like, oh my god, look at this guy. Turns heel, he signs his soul to the devil, and all of a sudden the first thing he asked for was hair. Ain't that something? Like, that's wild to me. The one thing I wanted to talk to you about, because I don't feel enough wrestling, so-called wrestling podcasts are talking about enough. WWE 2K25. How are we feeling?
Oh, it's great.
Right?
It's great. Yep.
Did you do any other stuff besides like the towers or the island yet? or have you just been
Just
focused on it?
pretty much the towers, the island, a little bit in the showcase.
Yeah, it's. I was watching this kid and his dad play. Turns out it was the same dad that didn't Dee's had on her podcast today, but or on Sunday. This kid and his dad was streaming my GM mode, and they loved the fact that they could do multiple versions of wrestlers and basically put them against each other. So they had like the two different versions of Stone Cold against each other, like the 17 different versions of Undertaker, right? They were just able to add that all. But yeah, I mean, go buy it. It's worth it. It's a lot better than last year's. It's a lot better than a lot of them. The island kind of gets a little bit slow when everybody gets packed on there, but it's definitely worth it, I would say. And yeah, you need this for your collection. If you're any type of wrestling fan, you just need this game to kill a couple hours on. Whenever you get bored, whenever you got time, whenever you're just trying to disconnect from work. So yeah, go get it, enjoy it, post on our page and tell us all about it. It's a hell of a time. So, but yeah, I guess that's it then. Do you have anything else for this Botch Wrestling Podcast episode tonight?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think we covered everything as well. Friday Night SmackDown, we'll probably have to watch that on demand because we'll be at a sporting event. So we'll have to.
Wait, we are?
Yeah, there's the games for Friday night.
I thought I was away this week.
What, the Bandits?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just.
Yeah, I think we're here. But
Is this the one? Is this the 1-1 again?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
but
My bad.
so we'll have to catch that. Everybody tune in to
Oh,
NXT
yeah.
tomorrow because that's going to be good as well. I'm sure we're going to get more TNA crossover as we go. NXT Roadblock was awesome. Go back and watch it if you didn't catch up on it. And watch all the WWE programming that they have on A&E. And I am slowly catching up on AEW. I'm hoping by the next time we do an episode next week, I have a little bit more to speak on from AEW. But until then, like, comment,
Wait,
subscribe.
no trivia this week?
I couldn't decide.
Okay.
Let's
Let's do one.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, do one. This is a new segment.
Okay. Let me was there anything special that you wanted?
No, not necessarily. I just
Okay. Yeah. No. My bad. I thought that's all we had, but looks like you're getting ready to go into this trivia.
well, I mean, look,
Dan, I gotta be honest. After the last trivia,
we're very bad at this.
After the last trivia, I walked away thinking, "What am I doing hosting a wrestling podcast?" I was like, I should just give this to Dan at this point. I was very humbled by.
Yeah, me too. But
Here you go, Dan. Every WrestleMania match, 1 through 31.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they have that on here on that Sporkle page.
Every WrestleMania match ever?
Yes, from 1 through 31.
Okay, that's a little
intense. Yeah,
that's a little.
And you only have 12 minutes, 300 questions.
I was gonna say, like, there's obviously a bunch we can get, but like, I'm not gonna remember from 20 years ago a WrestleMania like mid card event. Like, what are we doing here?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna forget that Tito Santana and Rick Martel fought at 2 different WrestleManias.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Here, you pour it up. Here, you pull it up this time, and let me see. Here, I think we did it from Sporkle last time, right?
Yeah, I think it's always from Sporkle.
Okay. You let me know which ones look good.
Let's see. What do we got here?
There's a lot out of here, man.
Every WrestleMania match.
Yeah. It's nuts, right?
Famous wrestlers by picture is way too easy, so we won't do
Yeah.
that one. Hall of Fame, WWE Hall of Fame. What's that one? Oh, that's 152 17 minutes.
For the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, it's every member of the Hall of Fame from 93 to 2024.
There's 172 people in there?
152.
Yeah, I'm down if that's the one you want to do.
Let's try it. It's going to be interesting. It's gonna be hard, like, because like it's gonna include like the celebrity wing and my guess is uh the Warrior Award ones, right? Like in the
Yeah. All right. Is it the one that's the WWE just says WWE Hall of Fame? Yep, 17, right?
Yep, 17 minutes, 152.
All right, let me share this.
Like right off the bat, 1993 Hall of Fame. It's only one name. I have no friggin' clue. Oh, actually, maybe I do know who that is. Now that I think about that.
All right, is it showing up on that screen for you, Daniel?
Yep.
All right, for everybody at home that's watching, here we go again. Probably gonna fail at this, but all right, let's go.
It's 1993. Is Andre the Giant? Was he the first one? I think
Andre
he
the
was the
Giant?
first. I think he was the first ever to be inducted. That's the only reason I know that.
Yep.
I don't know that it was.
Yep.
Yeah. Because he's the first one to get the statue too, I believe.
Yep.
All right. So, I wonder how it deals with factions. We'll try DX because DX is in as a faction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So factions count too. Okay. All right. Well, we know like, yep, Ray.
Mm-hmm.
We know Hogan. NWO. Ric Flair. Stone Cold. Right?
Sting.
2009. The Rock. The Rock? He's not in yet? Did it count him? Oh, Kid Rock.
Kid Rock is. Eesh.
Oh, jeez. Oh, Donald Trump is. He's in the celebrity wing, I believe. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Is it wrong about that?
2013.
Oh, okay, yeah. Snoop Dogg? Isn't Snoop?
Yep. He's the same year as Sting. That's classy.
Oh, it's not changing our score. That's why I didn't think it was. Anyway, Triple H. Oh no, nope, that's this year.
Yeah.
Is Shawn in as himself or only as DX?
Yeah, he's in.
Okay.
11.
Steiner Brothers. They just got in last year, right?
Yep.
Don Morocco. I think it's Muraco, right?
Yep.
Ultimate Warrior. The tragic inductee on that one.
China's not in. I thought they forgave her and
I think they counted her as DX, but not individually yet. Alundra Blaze, I think. No.
Nope.
Moolah, right? Fabulous Moolah.
MULA, right? Or the NH at the end.
I think it's OOLAH actually.
Wait.
MOOLAH, I
Yep.
think. Yeah. Who's the other one that was always with her?
Oh,
It was
they're doing them
Mae
booty butter.
Young.
Yes,
Mae
May
Young.
Young.
Mae Young. Oh, they didn't go in together. Wendy Richter, I think. She was recent, I think, right?
Is it RCHTER?
I think so. No.
Let's see.
I could be wrong about that.
Uh,
Oh, it's an I. That's
let's see
why.
if that does it. Yep, it did it.
Yeah. Okay. Man, they're tough on the spelling thing.
Yeah.
Mae Young, the Fabulous Moolah. Not
What's
Olivia Blaze. No.
what
Luna. Luna Vachon.
LUNA?
Or Sherry. Or well, both maybe. Luna Vachon and Sensational Sherry. LUNA VACHON. Oh yeah.
And then what was
Sensational
Luna?
LUNA VACHON. Well, 2 words. Sorry, 2 words. I thought she went in the same time as maybe
Luna
not.
VACH
ON.
ON. Nope.
No. Vader. Is he in? I think he was in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, 22 with the brother. Yeah.
Mick Foley.
Yep. He has to be in. No.
MICK.
Okay.
Didn't Kevin Nash go in as Diesel?
Yes.
And Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, didn't he go into posthumously? Or no, he went in by himself, I think.
Yeah, 2014. Yeah. He was a year before. Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Cowboy Bob Orton.
Yeah.
I think he went in.
Yeah, he has to be in there. If Hogan's in there.
Mr. Wonderful. Paul Orndorff.
Yep, that year too.
Mean Gene. Didn't Mean Gene go in? Okerlund?
Yeah. Mean Gene. Jerry the King, right?
Jerry the King, Jim Ross.
Yep, Jim Ross.
Jim Ross. Oh,
no,
Hillbilly Jim. Maybe did Jim Ross? Yeah, Jim Ross was in. Gorilla Monsoon. I know for sure he's in there.
Oh, well, we forgot. This is stupid of us. This is just last year.
I know. We're not even doing the ones from last year.
Yeah.
Gorilla. To Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan. Bobby Heenan had a great induction speech.
Bray's father.
Who? Oh,
Bray's father.
Yeah.
U.S. Express.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, last year at Paul.
Pat Patterson is in. Dusty Rhodes.
Yep.
Dusty Rhodes is in.
Goldust isn't in, right?
Oh, The Undertaker.
Oh yeah.
Duh.
Jesus.
The Undertaker.
Kane.
Is Kane in?
Yeah.
Was he? The Great Muta. Oh yeah, the father. Yeah. Great Muta went in, which I was always surprised about.
Oh, he did the Saturday night Jesse the Body.
Yep. Oh, Eric Bischoff? Duh.
Yep, he was 21.
Ooh, JBL.
Is Piper in? Piper's in. Yeah. Yep, Ron Simmons.
Bret Hart.
Um, did they put Eddie Guerrero in?
Oh, I think so. I think after he died, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they put him
Yeah,
in
because
06.
I think Vicky accepted it.
Yeah.
Goldberg.
Ugh.
I know. Kurt Angle.
Yep. Yep.
Macho Man.
Yep, Rob Van Dam.
Rob Van Dam. Uh,
Oh,
um,
the du-
Simmer.
oh, I was thinking of the Dudley boys, but not James Dudley.
I don't even know who James Dudley is, but okay.
Yeah, I didn't either until it showed up. Bubba. Nope, they're not in.
The Dudley Boys, as a tag team, they're in for sure. I think it's with a Z. That's interesting. I thought for sure they were in.
Yeah, I'm spelling it right? Yeah. Yeah, I thought for sure they were right. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Bruno Sammartino.
This is probably spelling. I'm probably screwing this up.
What happens if you just type Bruno and hit
Nothing.
enter? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, double M. Yeah.
Oh. Oh, come on.
It accepted it. It
It
accepted it.
did.
Our
Okay.
our score went up. I
Oh,
don't know
good.
what year he was, but our score went up. Um,
Mm, yeah, wow, it took to 2013.
um, Bob Backlund.
Oh, yep. The B like this. Yep. Uh, they 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 put Edge in after he broke his neck, right?
Yeah, Edge. Um, Iron Sheik.
Oh, what is Edge's wife?
Beth Phoenix.
Yeah. How do you Phoenix? Jesus, I'm terrible tonight.
OE. PHOE.
Here, thank you, Dan. Jesus, I am having a struggled bus.
Um, Mr. Perfect. I think he got in after dying.
Oh, they put in the Bella Twins. You remember that?
Actually, I don't, but sounds right.
Yep. They. Yeah, they were 2020.
Uh, didn't they put in that? Did they put in the referee that died? Tim White.
Did they?
Yeah, I remember he like was a referee forever, and then he was also
Yeah,
He was
they put him
also
at 23.
somebody's. Yeah, he
23.
was somebody. Yeah, he was like their like perseverance award or whatever the hell it was. Um. Ooh, Muhammad Ali.
The True People's Champ.
Yeah.
Oh, Liger.
Oh yeah, Jushin Thunderland. Yeah, good luck spelling that one. Oh, there you go.
I just spelled Liger. Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Where are we at? 58, and we have 3 minutes.
Jesus. How do we not know all this stuff? Jake the Snake. He wore the snake vest, remember? He had like the vest on, it looked like snakeskin. Um Trish Stratus. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Probably one that they regret. Sonny.
Oh, Charlie Hustle.
Heroes?
Yeah.
Did he go in? Oh, actually, you made me think of another one. Drew Carey.
Yeah.
Pete and Drew both got tombstones.
Oh, he did the Priceline commercials.
Oh,
The Star Trek guy.
Shatner.
Yeah. Dan, we at least have to get to 70.
Who are we missing from last year?
3 people.
Oh, Rock's grandmother, Maivia. Right? Wasn't that her name? Mother, grandmother, one of the two. Maiva. No, Maiv Maya V Maya Via Maivia. No, but there was the Rocks. Remember, she was like the first woman promoter. Like, remember?
Yeah,
Oh,
wait, what's her?
Andy Kaufman.
That's why. Okay.
Leah Maivia.
No, it didn't take it.
She was last year's though. Well, anyway, Andy Kaufman. Yeah. It's a Vader. Jarius Robertson. I don't think he was Hall of Fame. I think he just had something else going on. Remember that kid, Jarius Robertson, the little kid from New Orleans with the disease? Oh, Jesus. All right, who'd we miss? All these ones in red.
Well, let's blow it up so everybody can see how bad we are.
Oh, Snuka. I didn't even think of that. That was a Killer Kowalski.
Bro, Big that. John, you give Big John Stud for every other.
Oh yeah, all the WrestleManias. Yeah, Captain Lou Albano. Forgot about. Oh, Greg Valentine.
Jimmy
Harley
Hart.
Race.
Jimmy Hart.
Jimmy Hart.
We forgot Sergeant The Rock's Slaughter. Dad. And his uncle.
Oh yeah. Oh, and Stu Hart too. I didn't think about that one.
The Funks.
Mr. Oh, the Sheik.
Yokozuna. Booker T. Paul Bearer. Lita. Rikishi. The Bushwhackers. Godfather. Rock and Roll Express. DDP. Jesus, we are terrible. Teddy Long.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, the Heart Foundation as a group too. That's another trivia one. Like, because Brett's in twice as the Heart Foundation
Yeah.
and as himself, just like Sean, and now Triple H will be in twice. Oh shit. And Kevin Nash is in twice. Ugh, man, we really got to get better on our trivia. Oh, Howard Finkel. I could have remembered that one.
Jesus, Dan.
Steamboat. Oof.
You are killing me.
Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't see you saying all these names.
No, I know. I just no.
Yeah.
This.
See, look, we got screwed though. Leah Mayavi is right there.
How did we spell it wrong?
Is it a double I? Is that what it is?
Not
It
how I
looks like
looked
you
it up.
spelled it right.
Yeah,
It looks like you spelled it right, but whatever.
yeah. I think that's how I spelled it.
Yeah, well, whatever. They screwed us. We should have one more point. Molly Holly. Yeah, forgot about her. British Bulldog.
Stacy Keebler.
Ah, see, Alundra Blaze is there too. She was on that list too. They screwed us on that too.
Well, damn. I know this isn't to do for you to send somebody to bed disappointed, but thanks. I appreciate you throwing this at the end of the podcast here. So,
Hey, well, we can't give it up after doing it 3 or 4 weeks in a row now.
no, it's addicting, but I feel stupid. Or I've just watched so much wrestling that it's just kind of, I don't know, killed the trivia that I thought I knew. I don't know. But that's fun. What one? All right, well, let's plan it now. What one do you want to do next time?
I was just looking at Hulk Hogan's pay-per-view opponents.
I'm good. I
SummerSlam main events. I don't think it would do very well at that.
They had WWE top 50 superstars of all time.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one though, because
wait,
how would
wait, as seen on DVD, WWE top 50 superstars of all time.
Oh my god.
So somebody watched the DVD, got online, and just created a quiz for it.
Here's one. First world title. WWE, WCW, TNA, or ECW. In which promotion did the following wrestlers win their first world title? And it's got a list of 24 wrestlers, and you have to guess, I think in order, which promotion.
Okay. Can you bookmark that for next week then?
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, it goes, you go in order. I won't do it, but I wanted to start it to see. You only get 4 minutes. You go through 24 names and you have to guess. I think you only get one chance. So.
All right.
That'll be an interesting one.
That's what we'll do at the end of the next Botch Wrestling podcast episode. So stay tuned for watching us fail on trivia. That's always fun. I guess. I don't know. But we shall see. Hopefully we do better, Dan. But no. I think that's it, Dan. Is there
We should do a little better on that one.
You would hope. But I don't know. Dan, we're both getting old. So who knows where our memory's going.
Tell me about it.
Exactly. But until then, I think we'll be able to podcast next Monday. I think. If not, it's either Monday or Tuesday night, and it'll be up that night.
Actually, no, we will not pod next Monday, and we're gonna have to shoot for Tuesday because I travel on Wednesday. So
perfect. Tuesday it is. We'll shoot for
Tuesday the 25th.
Sounds good. Until then, Tuesday 25th, Botch Wrestling Podcast will be back. Check out our Instagram, Blue Sky, and the YouTube as well. This will be edited and thrown up sometime tonight. But until then, see y'all next Tuesday. Like, comment, subscribe, pass it on to a friend, and go watch wrestling. Any type of wrestling that you want. It's all been great. So, adios, folks.